happening? Hello. I never realized how short you are. Oh my god. I'm not here calling you out. I'm sorry. Hold on. Here. Hold on. Let me just... Yeah. I'm going. 5 weeks, and that's my opening line. I'm really glad to be here. Yeah, finally. Finally, after 5 weeks, this happened. Like, so many roadblocks did not allow this to happen in the first place. Yeah, I'm glad to be here. After that first hiccup, I was really worried. I was like, oh god, did I mess up the one time this would happen? And then all the other things happened afterwards. It was just the universe just going, hey, let's put a wrench in the plans like 5 times. Oh, yes. I guess you could say that. Like, as loosely as I like to use this term, like, the easiest way to describe the amount of stuff that I know how to do is Renaissance man, but I hate saying that because Renaissance men are not the best people to look up to. But yeah, I have learned a lot of things and have been trying to use those skills as much as possible. So what can I do? Well, I can do a lot of things. Mainly a lot of the stuff that I learned how to do is art related. Like, this all started back in elementary school. Yeah, back in elementary school I learned physical mediums, like sculpting, wood carving, painting, sketching, all that, but I really liked sketching. So I went down that route and went into full illustrations, went into digital stuff. That way I learned how to do digital illustration, 3D modeling, texturing, a little bit of programming. I used there's one software where it was like plug and play if-then statements for games, and you could like thread them together. It was a beginning gamer language, but it used Python. I learned that, and I was able to make like really easy platformer games. And then just jumped back and forth between a whole bunch of different art topics, figuring out how to make things that people might enjoy. And now I'm mainly just focusing on animation, illustration, and 3D modeling. What I like, I'm sorry, this and this got messed up by lag. The last part in particular. Would you like to see something? Blow off the what? You're going. Go for it. Oh, show the sword. Okay, that's what you meant. Yeah, I can do that real easy. If I just need to, hold on, need to move away from the seat. If I sit down on that, I'll just stand on the table. Listen, I don't know. Fine, I'll get off your table. I needed to get on the table, otherwise I would have just stabbed the couch. But yeah, I made this start to finish. Everything from texturing to modeling, down to the effects using Ployomis, all this. And I'm also able to, as long as I don't get in there, I'm also able to pull out the charge pack, put the charge pack back in, make it all glowy and stuff, switch hands. It's really nice. But it's not like the most intricate thing that I've done, but I did do it start to finish, completely customed. Thank you. I really like working on stuff like that. So what brought me to... Actually, I did not start out in VR with this. I just got brought into VR by watching, like, a whole bunch of different people on YouTube try out this new thing called VR chat, and it really was this game that brought me into it, and 3D in general. Like, just watched a whole bunch of people, like, back in the day, Kimple, Stealth RG, all these people pulled in, decided to integrate myself into the community, and then right off the gate, I met Lupus. And if any of you don't know, like back in the day, and it still is a thing, I met Lupus Arkham and was a part of a thing called Shenanigang. Like, it was a loose roleplay group that we were all together. Lupus was Brunswick's son. We were just a part of his gang that he got in the metaverse, and it was it was one of those unspoken RP groups. And then we all just got into the main ones, like Thrones of VR and, you know, all this. And then I got into all these other VR games like Pavlov and all that. But Shenanigang really got me into VR in the first place and drove me to getting my first VR headset. Just the community roped me in. They got me into VR. I use a desktop simpleton. Before I was like, geez, here we go. Oh boy. What would you say? Use something about the... this word here is a little bit... It's flubbed up. I'm so sorry about this. Oh. What would you say I like about it the most? Oh, yeah. Honestly, what I like about VR is the fact that it lets people just, like, interact the way that they might normally do. Like, we're able to sit here and have a conversation without you saying a word, because you have an integrated way to communicate with me, as well as you're able to see my body language like we normally would be able to. Like, it's the real life equivalent to sitting down in a bar or like a cafe or anything, and you're just writing down on a clipboard, going like this, coming back down, and just having a full conversation normally. It gives people a way to communicate that they normally wouldn't be able to across continents. Yes. Okay. You understand what I mean, though. It allows people to communicate in ways that they normally wouldn't be able to with people they would never see in real life. And that's what I love most about it. Like, it spreads the horizons for everybody to be able to actually talk with people they wouldn't be able to normally. Like, you could... I doubt this would ever happen. You could totally have a conversation with the president while he's still in the White House, and you're just sitting here in your living room, no pants on. Yep. I mean, okay. I'm gonna be completely honest here, and I'm talking to everybody here as well. I'm sure there's not one person who has not at least once inside of a virtual meeting or anything else going on that they haven't just sat in front of their webcam and waist down, just been in their most comfortable clothing, be that nothing or sweats, while they're wearing like a two-piece suit up here. Yeah, work from home. And in certain ways, it actually lets people do that as well. Like, just the way that it makes a lot of things accessible is something that I really like about VR. Just going back to the actual main question, making so many things accessible to people. It's breathtaking what people are able to come up with. Like, just... I don't know what the actual count of worlds on VR chat alone is, But the fact that each one of them had to come out of at least one person's brain staggers me. Like, sure, there could be like 50 worlds made by one person, but if you add them all together, that's a billion creative minds going into one place. It's awesome. And I'm using that contextually accurate. It fills me with awe. What made me try to RP? I was just into it. Like, when I first got, like, VR RP in general, it was the shenanigan as well with the, like, the whole metaverse thing. That's what got me into VR RP, but in general roleplay, I was always like a forum role player or text role player back when I was in high school. Like, I got together with a whole bunch of friends and wrote out full RP scenarios because we were all artists. We were all creative. We put together like whole scenarios and worlds, integrating our characters together, figuring out how they would interact, and then we discovered this thing called role-playing. So we decided to try it out and write out these stories in a collaborative chat room using like Skype at the time. We had whole chats inside of a group Skype thing going, this is the main room, this is the thing. It was what Discord role plays are now. But like, it evolved. It all starts with text RP. And then it just evolved into like going into live action role playing and just all these different scenarios where you're able to be somebody that you want to be. Do I play O&D? I'm not actually sure what that is. Not exactly. Oh. If you said D&D, I play D&D. I got into that as well at the end of like senior year. We didn't figure out about D&D until an actual D&D club went up to our group and was like, hey, you want to try being artists in D&D? Which is the way that everybody asks for free art. Like, okay. People fish for free art a lot, and one of the ways that they do it is trying to rope artists into their communities, but that's... Yeah. Don't point at yourself like you've done that. Hey, no. Like, I just want to clarify something. Fan art and fishing for free art are two completely different things, and lately artists have been very good at picking out who's trying to do what. You think you are? Technically. You could pitch it like that. You could say you are. But also, here's a counterpoint to that. There is not an original idea. Like, okay, to more clarify that. If you really looked at anything, like anything from the start of like art in general, you could take a look at it and pick at it apart until you find something that somebody else did. Like, people that were inventing the wheel, like sculpting out that big old sphere and like the round thing. Looking back on it, you could just pick at that and figure out, oh wait, they plagiarized math. That's pi! But it's something that I didn't even know at the time. Like, even Da Vinci, he plagiarized human anatomy, if you wanted to get really picky about that. They never had before the wheel. I'm not sure. I mean, somebody could have plagiarized fire. Somebody made a fire and was like, hey, I can make this. I made this. But in full seriousness, everybody has creative ideas, and creativity is drawing inspiration from other people, whether it be your own mind or things that you see around you. I honestly I just enjoy seeing what people are able to think of. No matter what kind of project they're thinking of, whether it's like a whole world building thing or just, I really like this sculpture I made. I don't have a concept for it, but I like it. Like, I just like seeing what people are able to come up with, whether it's something small or huge. Like, for example, this whole stage that we're in and the world that we're in right now. I really enjoy stuff like this because it came out of somebody's mind space and they were able to put it onto what they consider a medium. Like, this is a medium. Anything that people are able to put onto whatever they think, whether it be paper, digital, virtual, or physical with like sculptures and installation pieces, if they're able to get their creativity out however they want, I enjoy it as much as I can. Like, music, everything. I know that's like a broad answer, but the ones that I enjoy the most are stuff that I'm actually able to see. Like, especially with VR, it gives me a way to see and interact with what they've made. I like to interact with these creative things. Is there a big project for yourself you enjoy? By for myself, do you mean like something that I'm making, or just... I do enjoy this. Like, this is something that I haven't really publicly said anything about it, so congratulations, you're getting an exclusive. For the past, like, 5 or 6 years, I've been in the background crafting and putting together worlds. Kind of like what Brunswick has been doing for Fractured Thrones, or what Shini's doing for Aphelion. I've been putting together my own as well. And it's where a lot of my characters actually start out. I gave them a world to start in, and gave them a good concept in that world, and I tried to piece them into these other universes as kind of a way to get them more fleshed out. Like, close friends of mine, or people that have been following my stream for a while, would remember me talking about a project I call God's Ring, or my actual thesis film, Adventures in Albion. That's the passion project that I've been working on for the longest time, and where a lot of my characters get their start out. Like, it's just something that I've been enjoying working on and putting together and getting people's opinions on it since it started. And it wouldn't be anything without the people that helped me shape it to what it is now, even though I haven't shown it to anybody outside my close friends. Like, I picture the meme. Do you know the meme where it's like, the lore you tell everyone is like a really tiny book, but the lore you have written out, and it's like the huge encyclopedia that's 50 pages long. Yeah, sounds like Lyra's OC. Yes! Lyra does something similar, but it's with like the metaverse. Like, if you've seen Lyra's whole OC layout, it's a whole OC family tree. And how they know each other inside of the metaphysical everything, except for the ones that are off in their own little universe, like Yrza and... God, I can't remember. Terra? Yeah, Yrza and Terra are off in their own universes with FT and Aphelion. But, I'm not putting myself down here. I'm just saying, I'm not creative at all. I put my characters in my own world as well. They have a... Like, I have a version of this boy for about every universe and fandom that I like. And I can list out 7 different kinds that are all AUs. Yeah, a lot of people will know me from FT. A lot of people have been knowing me from FT a lot because of how popular Brunswick has made it. Why did I choose to RP a Warforged? To be honest, I wanted to RP a Warforged because, in the grand scheme of all the characters that I've made, I've only played a Warforged once. And that was on paper. Like, it never actually left paper or went to D&D or anything. And it started as a joke, but I really started to enjoy Warforged as a race. Just like what they could do in D&D, the other universes that I've seen them in. So I conceptually thought of, and don't laugh at me for this, Dwarf Ford, the Dwarf Warforged Dwarf Forge. It's a tongue twister, because he's a warforged dwarf that has a forge in his stomach. So he's a blacksmith that forges other warforged. So he's Dwarf Forged, the warforged dwarf forge. No, he didn't eat a dwarf. He is a dwarf. Like, okay, inside of D&D, you need to model the warforged after some race. It can be elven, it can be human, it can be dwarf, it could be Goliath, it could be whatever you want. It's a machine. It can be whatever you want it to be. It could be a squirrel. But at the time, yes, squirrel forged. But at the time, I just really wanted, I was in love with the concept of making a warforged that was a forge. And I decided to make him, inside of my universe, Dwarf Forge. Like, it's a D''Wharf. Dwarf. He's the god of the forge for the dwarven culture, and he's a warforged. Like, you can't get more into your religion if you are your religion. But, yeah, he didn't eat a dwarf, he is one. And I just really enjoyed the concept of making some ridiculous stuff like that. So I decided that once I saw it on Bruns's species list, I picked it out of all of them and was like, here's a concept for it, and then I changed it around a bit and got Tang. Oh, what are some other concepts that I would like to play? I actually have a few of them. So, you know what? You're driving this interview, so I'm going to let you choose. Would you like for me to talk about the concept for a sci-fi one, the fantasy one, or a Victorian one that I'm doing? Because those are like the 3 time periods that I've been trying to do. Yes? All 3? This is not a... Okay, fine. I'll start with sci-fi, go to fantasy, stop with Victorian, okay? You'll get all 3. Oh my god. Okay, let me just... Sci-fi one. It's not my Aphelion boy. That's a completely different concept, based in their universe completely. But the other sci-fi concept that I had was... What was it? Like, Shipman. Like, okay, I'm sure that you or someone in your audience has heard of Gurren Lagann. Like, the big mech anime where they go inside of the main thing and control it, and it's all faces. Yep. That was my introduction to the... Yes, Kami to glasses. The manliest man, and you can't prove the otherwise. That man and General Armstrong from Full Metal Alchemist are the 2 manliest men that I have ever known. But anyway, back to the sci-fi concept. Inspired by Gurren Lagann, I really wanted to play this one character, and it's pretty much a prisoner that the prison was the ship they were on. They cannot leave the ship. But they figured out a way to hack the ship to make it into a mech. So they made their prison into a weapon. So it's a whole spacefaring thing, where this person whose ship was a prison is now their greatest weapon in a galactic warfare setting. To where... a prison of their own making. At this point. Yeah. I'm about to give you a little bit more on that, like, just to flesh it out a little bit more. It's a ship of their own making, but it was never meant to be huge. it was a one-man pod type ship. But the way that they integrated it, they were able to absorb other ships. Like the head in Gurren Lagann, it's able to drill itself into the hull of another ship, integrate itself into the machinery, and convert it into its own kind of thing. Like, it's a pirate ship. It's the world's tiniest pirate ship, but it'll take your whole space base. It's just a concept that I really enjoy, but it's way too powerful to do in any kind of group setting. Like, oh god, one of the things that I always worry about is I like to think of all these grand concepts, but they would be way too powerful to do in a group setting, and I would not want to stomp on anybody else's importance. I hate power gaming to the point where once I got out of that phase, everybody's had that phase. You've had that phase. I'm sure you've had that phase. Where you wanted to be God. Don't you lie to me. You wanted to punch God at least once. You don't RP much? You don't RP yourself. Well, still, even as a person, have you ever gotten that urge where you just wanted a whole bunch of power? And you just wanted to stomp someone to the ground with it? A little bit. I will say to varying degrees. Everybody's had at least one moment where they wanted to have some kind of power trip. Whether it be a fun one where you're just able to soar about the galaxy punching planets that are uninhabited and just go like, oh my god, all the power, I'm Superman. Or really, really small ones where you're just like, I can walk through a battlefield and not have a scratch. Stuff like that. I wanted to stomp that out of my creative mindset so that I was actually able to integrate myself into social RPs more and social situations with my characters. Like, to the point where I, in universe, killed off all of my power gaming characters I made. They're all dead. They don't exist. They got wiped from existence like Thanos. But anyway, sorry. Back to the topics. We covered the sci-fi concept that I had. The fantasy one, honestly, it's more mundane than a lot of people think. It's just an old alchemist who's trying to cure his own disease, but in doing so makes the cures for other people's. Like, in trying to make a cure-all for himself, he's actually become one of the most philosophical alchemists out there. It's a super interesting idea. The whole concept of it just started out with, I kind of want to make an alchemist. How would I be able to make all the potions for my universe, or at least the way that some of them were made? And some of the more intricate ones I actually made this character for. I was like, how would these even come about in the first place? And then I thought, you know, a lot of medical innovation comes from the fact that people are trying to cure their own or someone they cares about's problems. So I was like, I'm gonna make a whole character whose entire purpose is this. So he decided to make a stamina potion that he was able to move around and continue working. He made a healing potion so that his degrading body was able to actually continue to work on his own stuff. He made regenerative potions, speed potions, night owl potions, all that. All to keep himself going to work on more advanced and more complicated things. Yeah. I'm glad that you... Oh, gee, hello. Cheers! I did not press anything, I swear. It was just there. But I'm glad that you think that sounds like a great character. Like, whenever I'm trying to figure out how something was made, I try to make a character around it. And the reason why is, for the most part, nothing is ever just generated out of nothing. So I try to give a good explanation as to why that might be. Like, I know that when we came in here, that Chinese food on the table, you got that here so I wouldn't get hungry. That was brought here, good General Tso's chicken. Just like Old Man Wong over in the other, like, building over there. I'm sure he works on his own stuff. It's been there for You've been peddling me 3-month-old General So? I'm not that hungry. That's not General Tso's chicken anymore. That's rocks. Next thing you're gonna tell me is this coffee's been sitting here since like 5 months. It's probably iced by now. I have no comeback to that. Listen, I would not. If that's still edible, I would not. Don't dab on me. I can't control what I am. Oh wait, yes I can. I'm a role player. But oh god. That reminded me when I actually did do that by accident. So I'm trying to figure out what the second part is. So, I'm so sorry about that. Victory. Oh, the Victorian concept, right. I got sidetracked. I thought you were talking about some friend of yours named Vic. But, okay, the Victorian concept. What was it? It wasn't Assassin's Creed. That one I've already done. Right! The Victorian concept was actually a pirate. Like a Victorian pirate. I made this concept back when I was really... Hey, what? Hey. You're not so good interested in pirates? You don't like pirates? But in full honesty, when I saw the Victorian stuff and a lot of Victorian era things, I just saw a lot of well-dressed, finely kempt people. So, a bit late for pirates. Yes, but what if a city was your ship? Like, okay, the pirate concept was mainly because anytime you see a pirate movie or any kind of pirate character, they're always swinging from the sail lines or doing anything like that. Victorian Spider-Man. Small grappling hooks in which you're able to go across the towers and crenellations of all these buildings. Go up and hide if you're trying to get something. It's like a Victorian roguish thief utilizing a creative usage of an old way to move around a ship. The city is your ship, and nowhere is off limits. What's my favorite model that I've made? Honestly, the favorite models that I've made are the ones that I've made for other people, really. Like, if I'm able to make somebody something that they will adore till they're sick of it and want a new one, I'm most proud of that. But like for personal stuff, I most enjoy, like, I didn't make this entirely. I got help and got some other things for this model from Tron. The only things that I made for myself were the head, the hands, and the sword. But in full, I enjoy making models like this where I'm just able to chill out and have a cool concept. Like, let me just go through my avatars here to see if one jumps out at me, aside from the latest things I've made. Like, oh! Would it be okay if I change into one? Okay. Is over to the left of the table off camera or not? Like, I'm not sure if I want to make sure that I'm still here. Okay. And I also don't want to sit down by accident. But, I actually made this model for Tish. And I just had a lot of fun making it start to finish. Oops, there's the chair again. But yeah, like I just made a whole little engineer for them where they have like, they're able to bring out a screwdriver. Oh, hello. Hi. They're able to bring out a screwdriver. They're able to put their glasses up. They're able to trade it out for a chisel working on smaller things. Or if they wanted to, they could pull. Where's the hammer? The hammer's right here. I made them an engineer character if they wanted to be, well, more themselves for when the engineer got back in FT. But yeah. Like stuff like that where it's small things, but something that somebody's able to use in a lot of different scenarios, whether they're just relaxing or doing something else. I enjoy putting it together and making. And then the other models that I'm really proud of are like this one, my original boy from Metaverse, where he has like all the 9 different weapons, couple of different spells that are now scuffed because of VR chat updates, and just the version of this boy that I was using for Metaverse back in Pathfinder's RP. Feel free to show. Okay. Yeah, for those that might not know, this is actually the latest version of my boy, and I was talking about this like before everything actually kicked off, that I could go back into my classic one, which is, it'll take a little bit of scrolling. Got to go through 15 different FT pages, and good lord. There we go. Thank you for the hug. It really touches my heart. But yeah. Oh, hello? Why am I like this? Yep, here he is. And I'm not sure what state he's in, actually. Give me a moment. There we go. Like, I'm able to toggle the ears on and off. I'm able to wiggle the tail. Let's see the... There it is. There it is. Hello. Hi. Tail. I'm not trying to show off my butt, but yeah. This is one of the models that I really enjoyed making, and it was one of the first ones that I did that was really, you know, intricate. But the thing that I'm most proud of on it is this. It's a monster manual that actually has pages that you're able to switch around. Am I still over there? Oh lord, hold on. Let me check your stream real quick. Yes, I am over there. But anyways, it's able to change pages. And I did the art for every single one of these pages and figured out how to make a turnable book in VR. And I used that to be able to do this. I really enjoyed doing it too. Just a fun little project, and figured it out.
Welcome home, Columbia. Beautiful.
Yeah, and I was seats. They just really want to suck me in. This couch is so comfy.
Computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Oh, really? I don't think they're that excited. Oh god, are they freaking out? Oh no. Oh god. Oh, okay, they're fine now? They're fine now. Okay. Is there anything that I would like to promote? anything or one I would like to promote? Uh, honestly, I'm promoting you. You guys should continue to watch Vale. Vale is a sweetheart. They've been working very hard on a lot of other people's things as well as their own. Like, please, if you haven't already, give them a sub, give them a follow. Go to their Twitter, follow them there. But it's no problem, really. Like, I'm so glad that you even allowed me to come onto the show. I've enjoyed every second of this. Super comfy couch that keeps sucking me in aside. I've enjoyed every second of this. And I just want to promote all the friends that I have here. I mean, you're already going to have Lyra on the show later. I know that for sure. And Shinny, Brunswick, Lupus, all the people that I talked about here, please do go follow them in the couch. Follow this couch. Unfollow this couch. This couch is... I will turn you into a stool.
Yeah.
You're fixing the couch. Good. This couch needs to be fixed. Okay. I'll leave it alone. You're very nice. But please stop sucking my butt into your seats. You're comfy as you are. But yeah, I just wanted to promote all the friends that I met in order to get here in the first place, that's all. I wouldn't have been able to do the stuff that I'm able to do now if not for them. And a few big inspirations art-wise that I've been going off of lately. If people haven't seen Spatula or Spats, their stuff, I've been trying to take notes from how they do shading and rigging for VTuber models. Like, the way that they shade things makes everything very volumetric and very nice. The way that they render things crisp. And then Lyra for 3D models and the way that they texture things. It's just... I'm taking notes. Anytime I watch any of my friends do art, I'm taking notes. And I recommend that to anybody else who wants to get into art. Don't be afraid to ask for help or ask for, like, tips and tricks. That's the whole thing. Learning from everybody is kind of how the community works together to improve themselves and the people around them. Like, the tome trick, the book. I wouldn't have been able to do it if I didn't see somebody else figured out how to do something called UV shifting. I didn't know that was a thing. But then I figured out that you were able to move the actual texture so that you're able to use a whole page of things. And then I just figured out a way to make that into a whole book. And now I'm able to put... What was the maximum? I was able to make a book that was 65 pages. And you were able to flip through those 65 and it was still a good rating avatar. I actually wanted to put that up as a prefab on VRC Labs or Booth. Yeah, like, I just got inspired to do it by a whole bunch of different people that were putting together stuff like this. Ugh. The amount of creativity in this community. I love it. Yeah. Yes. More. I've said it like 3 times in this interview alone. There are so many creative people here, and I love every single one of them. Yes! Yes, I enjoy RPG games. I would not be here if not for RPG games. Adventure RPGs are honestly my favorite genre. My favorite one? I'd say my favorite. Okay, I know this is like the easy answer, and like I would say the most common one, I suppose, but it fits because I'm also labeled as a generic protagonist. The RPG game that got me into all of them was, and I'm not sure if it's considered an adventure or an RPG. I like Legend of Zelda. It's the very first one and big franchise that got me in love with both the genre that I like to keep my characters in and the game type that I like to explore with. Like, adventure RPG games are my bread and butter. I love them. The most basic things, but I love them so much. It started out with I'm trying to remember what the first Zelda game that I played was too. Fave Zelda then. Yeah. My favorite Zelda is split between two. It's between A Link to the Past, because that was the first one that I got. Or the first one that I had handheld and played 15 times over. I had Link to the Past and it was playing it on my Game Boy SP for like the 3 car trips and road trips that my family did around the country. Just I was sitting there being Link, picking up the pendants, upgrading the Master Sword to maximum, getting all the different armors and rings. Just I loved it so much. And then Twilight Princess. And I'm sure you can guess why. It's because that's the one with the wolf in it. But honestly, I liked Twilight Princess for its setting and just the general design of things. The way that everything looked with the shading, the way that they worked with the time to integrate it between GameCube and Wii, I loved it. And then a close third, and people will kick me for this, is Skyward Sword, because that's the start of the story. That's where the whole legend of Zelda started, was Skyward Sword. In terms of lore, I mean, it all started with the first Legend of Zelda back on the NES. But Skyward Sword is what the real lore start of the series, and that's why it's my close third. Interesting, no Majora. I do like Majora's Mask. Like, don't get me wrong. I love Majora's Mask and I love Fierce Deity Link. Like, I went out and got every last mask for Fierce Deity. I even got it on I got Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask back on an emulator before I was able to get them on Virtual Console or anything. I played them on my old Acer laptop. Back when I tried to start my YouTube career, going like, hi, welcome to my Ocarina of Time playthrough part 1, and deleted every single video of that off YouTube because my microphone was trash. But yeah, I like Majora's Mask as well. I like all of the Zelda games and would hate ranking them anyway, because each one of them has their own merits. There's only one, or well, 4 that aren't likable to me. Any closing thoughts? Closing thoughts, I would say, just the thing that I like to say to a lot of people anytime I get any chance to tell people anything is just, no matter what people do or what people might try to do to you, try to be caring and considerate to what other people want to do. Like, think about what other people are going through before yourself, because they might be going through the same stuff that you are. Whether it's the same creative plights or the same living situations or anything like that, try to, if you have the chance, even giving a little bit of kindness, whether it be words or actions or whatever have you, just show a little bit of compassion to people and it will go a long way, even if you don't see anything for it. Just try to be nice for the sake of being nice. Oh, photo time. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. It's photo time. It's time for a picture. Okay, okay. Just making sure I'm not scowling. Am I? No. No. I don't want to scowl. Here we go. I'm coming. I'm coming. Don't worry. Thank you for having me on the show, Vale. It's really a good time. I love being here. Good? We good? Okay. Thank you very much. Right. Where do I go? Do I like escape? Okay, fine. I'm going. Fine. Fine. Go.